Welcome and hello to the DECODE series of courses. Today, DECODE, your time on set. This is probably my favorite course I've ever created because it means you get to take me to set with you when you work, or at the very least, when you get ready to work. Why is that a big deal? It means you booked work. Congratulations. So let me get right into it. What is this course? This course is going to teach you how to survive and how to thrive each and every time that you book work and you step on set. As you grow in your experience, your confidence, and your instincts as an actor, so much of the following will become second nature, but it's still important, even for working actors, to have a handle on all of the following, so that a day on set, a week on set, a month, or a whole season doesn't have to be a stressful experience. This course is going to include your 7 steps to success, and that features the following elements. Number 1, your actor bag of stuff. Number 2, your plan. Number 3, your mindset. Number 4, the call sheet. Number 5, your contract. Number 6, your paycheck. And number 7, the Exhibit G. Oh, and there's going to be a bonus. The 4 people you must meet on every single set. Each item in this course is going to include tangible, usable, practical advice for professional actors and those who are in the process of becoming professional actors. An actor must gain a comfort level over each of these 7 elements, and this teaching will be offered via first-person experience, shared anecdotes, handouts, and the course will conclude with some real working examples from actors and their personal experiences. While it might seem like common sense and just for newer actors, there's a lot of experienced actors out there that can utilize this course, not only as a refresher, but as a way to stay present on some of the elements that they may not have traditionally focused on, thus giving them more opportunities and positive experiences when they are working on set. Please be aware that while the focus for this particular course is on SAG-AFTRA productions, a lot of the concepts, the ideas, and the activities will apply on union or non-union sets, on big budget or indie sets, for one day or months at a time. Ultimately, the guide is designed to help actors become better advocates for themselves and ambassadors for their own brand as an actor, because actors are both the product and the service. So let's decode your time on set. First up, the actor bag of stuff. This is just like it sounds. It's a bag, a backpack, or a rolling suitcase of all the things that you can anticipate needing while working on a set. For our purposes, set includes your trailer, the hair and makeup trailer, in a green room or holding area, and actually physically on set. I've prepared a list of the 9 things that every actor must have in this actor bag. Oh, and while it's not on the list, don't forget your relevant forms of ID. Number 1, emergency contact info for your reps. This might sound silly, but a lot of call times are really early, around 6 a.m., and sometimes really late, around 11 p.m. And emergencies do pop up, maybe with your contract, and you must have a way to reach your agent to resolve that issue. Number 2, a call sheet. This seems odd because you'll get one emailed to you, but I print mine out. It's a handy reference for everyone working on the project, and I like to circle or highlight the names of people when I've made a connection. Quite often, you're going to see those people again on a future production. So learning and remembering people's names and faces can be important and beneficial. Number 3, your cell phone and charger. Seems obvious, but the charger is key. Days on set can be long, and you don't want to run out of juice. Also, invest in an external battery. There may be hours when you're away from power and you can't go around plugging a phone in everywhere. Imagine if everyone did that on set. Number 4, headphones. This is important because there may be things that you would like to listen to during your workday, perhaps an emotional song, to get you where you need to be with preparation. Perhaps a motivational podcast or video, or perhaps an app that helps you with your dialogue, your lines. Whatever it is, you need to be discreet and be respectful of other people's space in terms of noise. Number 5, a book. There's always going to be downtime, and you'll end up scrolling your life away on Instagram. So turn those long hours into a positive by bringing that book that you're currently reading, or keep saying that you're going to start. Number 6, a jacket or a hoodie. Depending on where you're shooting, sets and stages can get cold. Your trailer can get cold. Weather conditions change. Once you get on set, a lot of times a production will have a coat just for you. But it never hurts to have one for yourself as you navigate your time on a production. Number 7, water bottle. This one might seem a little confusing, but if you bring your own reusable water bottle, you're reducing the prevalence of single-use cups. You can also add your own flavoring and hydration mixes, and your bottle is invariably going to be bigger and require less refills than single-use cups. Help the environment wherever you can. Hollywood is notoriously bad at being green. Number 8, toiletries. This applies to everyone, but obviously each person has certain unique needs. If you wear contacts, have an extra pair. Make sure to have different or extra underwear in case what you have is oddly revealing, or if you're on a horror set where you might get gross, the drive home could be yucky if you can't change. Keep in mind that if you're eating garlic chicken at lunch, bring that mouthwash, toothpaste, and toothbrush. If applicable, bring your own makeup bag, just in case, baby wipes, things like that. Be sure to include any prescribed medications or EpiPens or anything like that that's relevant to your situation. Number 9. Okay, this one's a bit of an asterisk. It doesn't necessarily apply when you're physically on set, but it does apply if you're on location working on a project. Your self-tape travel kit. It allows you to set up and audition from anywhere. For recommendations on what should be in that kit, our good friend Kurt Yu at the Actors Career Center made a video. And a link to that video is right in the PDF for this course. As a bonus, you should always have an e-bag of your vital information ready to go, including your theatrical and commercial headshot, a PDF of your resume, and your custom Actors Access link. You can save this as an email draft or as a file or a folder on Google Drive. That way, if anyone on set wants to connect with you for later, you can grab their email right away and say, hey, I just sent you my information. And you don't have to worry about forgetting to do it later. That's it for your actor bag. Start putting yours together today. Your plan. Boom, boom, boom. My dear friend DeJuan Johnson from Think Bigger Tribe, a 7-year cast member on Amazon show Bosch, says this: you cannot be a secret and be a success. Think about that for a moment. For those of you who've spent a good amount of time on set before, did you spend the majority of it in your honey wagon or your trailer? Did you just play on your cell phone or nap? Is it possible you missed an opportunity to educate yourself and learn more about the business by spending time engaging with people and seeing the production in action? You've got to spend time with people in order to make an impression on them beyond just the work that you're doing. Now, it's an important note. You can't be a pest. You cannot prevent people from doing their job. You cannot be a hindrance to the flow or be in the way. You should think of your presence on a set like that of the Secret Service. Be there, but be invisible. So how do you strike a balance of being in the mix without being a pest? It's not easy, and if it's your first time on set, you should probably just observe and soak it all in and enjoy the experience. But if you're getting more comfortable on set, or if you have multiple days on the same set, you can utilize your time to make industry contacts. Instead of spending the whole day hiding away, spend some time at Crafty. Spend some time near Video Village if you're allowed. Listen more than you talk. Listen to the conversations happening between different crew members. What are the conversations about? Why? If you have downtime between takes while shooting a scene, engage the sound team, the camera team. Get to know their names. Remember their names. A tip: the more time you work on the same set, the more opportunities you have for people to see you in action, behaving like a pro, taking direction. And that opens the door for conversations between takes. Your goal should be to make one non-actor industry contact per job that you work on. One non-actor industry contact per job that you work on. If you're only on set for one day, that may be hard. But at the very least, you can learn a few names, including the base camp PA and the first team or set PA. Learn their names. A little bit later on in this guide, we'll talk more about specific on whose names to learn and why. If you're spending more than one day on a set, this becomes easier. Learn something unique about them. Make a note on the call sheet. Emily loves dogs. John always drinks sugar-free Red Bull. Bob just had his first grandchild, etc. Whatever that is. This allows you to form more of a human connection than a transactional one, and the PAs especially will be appreciative because they're at the bottom of the ladder on the crew and they have a really difficult job. You treat them as a human first and a PA second, and they'll remember that the next time you work together on a job in the future. Why is this so important? Because people spend long hours on set and they want to work with and around pleasant people. It's no accident that the rumors about difficult actors fly around quickly. That can be toxic to a set. And as a newer actor, you're there to serve the story and be of service. And your job is to be pleasant in addition to being a professional. Make people enjoy your company. The next element in our steps here is your mindset. You need SAG to help you on every set. No, not SAG-AFTRA, though they're very helpful too. This is a different kind of SAG. S, successful job done. A, acceptance as a colleague and a peer. And G, growth as an artist and a professional. Athletes visualize their high-stress, high-reward moments all the time. They nail the jump shot as the time expires. They stick the landing to win the gold medal. Or even the less glamorous task of making a key block to allow your team to score the winning touchdown. Successful job done. As an actor, if you incorporate visualization into your daily practice, it will help you overcome nerves. It will help you remain focused during long shoot days, and it will minimize errors. When you're lower on the food chain, working at the co-star or day player level, your job is to be of service to the story and move it forward. You do not get 10 takes to get it right. You're not going to get all this extra time to get into your headspace, and you will feel the pressure of dozens, if not hundreds, of crew members. If you can visualize a successful job already done, then you're halfway there. Put yourself on the set, nailing your scene, and getting thanked by the crew for a job well done. Repeat that. Hear the director say, "I hope we can bring you back," or "I look forward to working together again." Visualize that. Manifest that. Realize that. Acceptance as a colleague and a peer. When you show up on set, no one's going to ask to see your resume or demo reel. No one will know if this is your first credit or your 50th. You auditioned, you booked it, you deserve to be there. As part of your visualization of a successful job done, also incorporate elements of knowing that you deserve to be there, that you are a professional, you are a colleague to these people, you are part of an ensemble, and peers work with peers. Do not put additional pressure on yourself to be perfect. Perfection is a myth. We can strive for greatness and we work hard to achieve it, but perfection is impossible. Series regulars mess up. A-listers mess up. It's how you handle yourself on set as a peer. If you mess up, don't apologize. You reset, you focus, and you nail it the next time. Everyone messes up at least a few times per day. So if you take the imperfections in stride, if you move past them and you do your job, you are actually reinforcing yourself as a peer on set. The G, growth as an artist and a professional. Every job should help you grow, both creatively and as a professional. Okay, sure, barista number 4 may not stretch your emotional depth, but perhaps you learned about a new term the camera department uses, or listened in as they were discussing different lens types. Perhaps you were asked to improvise, and you felt great when put on the spot. This is artistic growth. It's one of those invisible tools that you're adding to your toolkit. A little bit later on in this guide, we're going to talk about the 4 people that you must meet, that you must familiarize yourself with on set. And that is a great way to grow as a professional, by expanding your network of contacts. I can almost guarantee you're going to see them again on another set that you work on in the future. A quick tip on IMDb Pro. Before you step on set, you might want to do a little research on IMDb Pro on the people that you're going to be working with, who is involved in the project. And I don't just mean the A-listers. We all know what they look like. But perhaps you could research who this new director is, or perhaps the first AD, or the DP, who else is involved in production. You might have access to photos, which in turn can help you put a face to a name once you step on set. It's a great opportunity to make an additional connection in your brain to help you feel more comfortable on set. Here's something really important, and I hate that I even have to talk about it. But if something is feeling uncomfortable on set, tell someone. Tell a PA. Step away and call your agent. Confide in a cast member. If it's a union SAG-AFTRA set, you can call 844-SAFER-SET. That's 844-723-3773. You can do that 24/7, and you can do it anonymously. Unfortunately, if you work on a non-union set, you have to set up your own boundaries on what you're comfortable with, whether that's stunts, intimacy, having something changed on you from what you previously agreed to do, or if in general someone's making you uncomfortable. If you have to, walk off the set if you feel that you're in immediate danger. Your safety is paramount. That project is not. Next up, the call sheet. There are a lot of things as an actor that might be considered as vital information, but the call sheet is something that confuses even seasoned actors. So this section of the course breaks it down in detail, and we've got visuals to go along with it. So let's break down the call sheet. First off, the layout. A call sheet is going to be broken into a front and a back. The back is easier. It includes everybody in the crew, and it's broken down by department and title. Some will have contact info included, others won't. This is helpful to learn and remember names, as well as use as a handy guide when trying to remember who works in what department and how senior they are within that department. The front of the call sheet, that's where things get pretty complicated. So let's dive in and let's take a look. The top left, that's going to include the key executives, including the director, the executive producers, and the UPM. The top middle will include the name of the project, the crew call time, and the tentative shoot call time. The top right, that outlines the date of the shoot, the weather, which script version is being used, sunrise, sunset times, and the day of the production. For example, day 2 of 10. The shot list. Below the key information in the top section is the shot list for the day. From left to right, the following information is included: the scene numbers, the location and set description, the cast members listed by number, is the scene day or night, and which day or night in the sequence of the project is it? For example, N5, night 5. How many pages is the scene being shot? 4/8. And a couple of other little things in there for you to look at. Now the cast list. Below the shot list is the cast list, and from left to right, number on the call sheet, listed in descending order. Number 1 is the lead of the project. Guest cast could be in the high single digits or teens or 20s or even hundreds, and minor characters could definitely be up in the hundreds too. Cast name, then character name, then status, more on that later, and then a variety of coded columns with notes as well. So some of the coded columns. SWF, start, work, finish. This is what many of you will see in your earliest work on set. It means the actor starts, works, and finishes on the same day of production. It's a one-day job on set. Congratulations. SW, start work. It's the actor's first day of work on that production or that episode. W, work. The actor's already worked on this production and is working today. WF, work finish. It's the actor's last day. H is for hold, and the actor might be needed at any time throughout the day. R is rehearsal. The actor will be rehearsing something for that day. T is travel. The actor could be traveling to or from set on that day. There's more codes, but the ones I've mentioned are the most commonly used in scene. There's a couple of other ones. PU, if an actor is to be picked up. RPT, if an actor is to drive to set or report, RPT. HMUW, that's the time the actor is expected to be in hair and makeup and wardrobe. REH, the time that they anticipate having you brought to set to rehearse a scene or scenes. RDY is ready, the time they anticipate you needing to be ready. That's often left blank. Call sheets, well, they might include notes about a fitting prior to a rehearsal, or minors needing to go to school, or perhaps a stunt rehearsal that's going to happen prior to shooting. Below all of that section is the location information, and it's going to include information for crew, for cast, catering, background, and other departments. Below that section is a section outlining how many background and stand-ins are required for the day and in what capacity, along with any special instructions for props, set dressing, any FX that's needed, and anything else that the crew needs to know to accomplish their jobs for that given day. This happens every day. The bottom section is what's called the advance schedule and includes what the next day's schedule is supposed to include, including the scene numbers, the location, and the cast required. It's always helpful to look at this section to see if you're supposed to be working again, assuming that you don't have an SWF or WF next to your name for that day. Here's a note. Often, the report time and the hair, makeup, wardrobe time is the same. Do not rush. Arrive to the base camp just before your call time, check in with the base camp PA, and ask if they'd like you to get dressed first or report to hair and makeup first. Depending on the project, this could vary. Speaking of wardrobe, you might want to wear a V-neck tee or a button shirt with no tee underneath so that you're able to remove it easily. Another option, particularly in a hot place, is to wear a stretchy tank that you'd be able to change out of by pulling it down your body instead of over your head if you have really complicated wig or other hair information, hair stuff for the shoot that day. A commonly asked question is, when will I receive my call sheet? And the answer varies, but typically a production doesn't know the exact time for the next day of shooting until they finish the current day of shooting, due to turnaround times and rules associated with that, what did or did not get finished, or maybe any emergency changes that might need to happen. So if you're starting on any day of a production other than the first day, it's common that you won't receive the call sheet until 10 to 12 hours before you're required to be on set. You'll typically receive what's known as a preliminary call sheet earlier than that, perhaps 12 to 18 hours ahead of time based on how the shoot day is going, but that could be adjusted. So keep in mind, you might go to bed and not yet have a final call sheet. Don't freak out. Make sure you check your email every few hours. And an AD is probably going to text you with updates during the day to keep you in the loop, but that's not a guarantee. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you were supposed to be on set at 6 a.m., you might want to wake up at midnight or 1 a.m. just to confirm. Let's talk about contracts. Now, what we're going to talk about is applicable to all SAG-AFTRA projects. Non-union projects, they don't have any minimum set standards or protocols or behavior, but actors should behave with the same level of professionalism and expect the same in return. On your first day, or your only day on set, this is the basic process and what will happen before you start work. Your reps are going to negotiate your deal memo, which includes all the salary and the benefits you're agreeing to in order to work on this project. On day one of your employment, a contract must be in your trailer when you arrive. If it's not, politely notify the PA. Once you receive that contract, read it. It sounds like common sense, but most actors don't. They're so excited to be on set, they just fly through and sign everything. Look for the correct role, billing, pay rate, and pay attention to any addendums or any social media promotion language. And for commercials, the intended usage. Check that. It's critical. If anything looks incorrect, do not sign. Call your agent. Every agent has a 24-hour or emergency line that talent can call. It's so important for those 6 a.m. call times. Notify your Basecamp PA that there's an issue, that you've spoken to your agent, and the agent's going to follow up with casting and production and notify them or you on how to proceed. Do not report to set or sign your contract until your agent has notified you that you're approved to do so. Once you've signed something and handed it over, or you filmed something, it's a lot harder to undo errors. It's probably going to require you to file a claim. Now, if there's no problems, or when the problems are resolved, sign the contract. You're great. Be sure to take photos of every page of your contract on day one. take photos of every page of your contract. It's critical. It's a lot harder to get things to work out in your favor with a claim if you don't have photographic evidence. And at the very least, it's going to take a lot longer. One of the most important paperwork elements for you as an actor is the Exhibit G. At the end of every day on set, this is essentially your timesheet, and that this is the basic process and how you should conclude every day. You'll be presented with an Exhibit G by the Basecamp PA. Read it. Only if it has the correct times, including your out time, should you sign it. If it does not, notify that PA that the sheet needs to be completed correctly or revised correctly. Do not sign the Exhibit G before you're back at Basecamp, if you're traveling from the actual set location back to Basecamp, before you are out of wardrobe or any special hair and makeup, and you're physically ready to depart for the evening. You should be paid accordingly for that additional time from the time you wrapped on set to the time you're ready to leave the base camp. That could be 15 minutes or 30 minutes or even 60 extra minutes. If there's no problems or if the problems are resolved, sign the Exhibit G. Be sure to take photos of the Exhibit G for every single day you work, including rehearsals. You should be presented an Exhibit G for rehearsals. Oh, and way after the fact, you might be brought in to do ADR, which is additional dialogue work to sync up some of your dialogue. Maybe there was a helicopter or airplane. Maybe there was background that was really loud. A, you get paid for that. And B, it's going to come with an Exhibit G. You signed your contract. You shot your part in the project. You went home. Everything's great. Now you get a paycheck. Once you receive your paycheck in the mail, compare it against the photos that you took. And if there are any issues or errors, immediately contact your agent. Depending on whether or not your agent is able to identify a solution and notifies you, you may or may not potentially need to follow up with the union and file a claim. Here's what I look for. Immediately check your paycheck for the hours and the dates worked, for any overtime that was accrued, any penalties like meal penalties, or maybe any additional amounts owed. In some cases, your check goes directly to your agent, so you must look at the check stubs. This could be a few weeks later. In some cases, you'll be paid directly. Again, look at the check stubs. If there are issues with your paycheck, cross-reference it against your contract and the Exhibit G. Sometimes simple clerical errors happen. People are human. Sometimes the amounts could be small, sometimes they're larger. But you're entitled to every penny that you've earned. So as I say, if there's an issue, you notify your agent via email and attach any photos needed along with any check stubs, and you include what you think the issue is. Allow your agent a few days to get back to you, and they'll come up with a solution or at least next steps. In many cases, those next steps, you may need to file a claim with SAG-AFTRA. You send them the same email you sent to your reps. Allow the union a few days to get back to you, and they'll get back to you with a claim number if they need to open a claim. There's a limited time to file a claim. And depending on what contract you're looking at, the numbers are different. It could be 90 days or it could be 6 months from the time you are made aware of the error to file before you can no longer file. It's a clock that runs out, kind of like a statute of limitations on filing claims. If you don't file in time, you're not going to be able to file later. Also, if your agent's handling it, stay on top of your agent and the union. Email your agent every 2 to 3 weeks to follow up. If the union has handled it, email them every 2 or 3 weeks to follow up. And an important note to remember, you do not have to be in the union to have the benefits and protections of the union if you are working on a union project. You are entitled to the correct pay. You are entitled to a claim. You are entitled to union staff working on that claim on your behalf. So do not overlook this. Plus, you're the CEO of your own business. Don't think that your agent is going to be taking this from A to Z and resolving this for you. It could be a small amount. And even so, the amount that they might be eligible for on commission is going to be even less. It's up to you to take the reins and be a leader. I cannot stress how important documentation is. Do not skip over any of this stuff in the course. Do not overlook it. Do not think, yeah, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I've been on a set before. Filing claims, sure, you can do that and you can utilize the services of the union. But that's going to take time, months or years in some cases. At one point, it took me 31 months to get a claim successfully resolved in my favor. As of the recording today of this particular course, I have 5 open claims that are all legitimate. Ultimately, I'll get paid, but it's been weeks, months, and years, depending on which claim we're talking about. Don't skip over any of this stuff, please. Get excited. We are in the bonus section. The 4 people you must meet each and every time you're on set. Now, I know it seems obvious that the director would be the most important person to know on a set, right? Not necessarily. First of all, on a massive movie set, you may get very limited opportunities to connect with the director. On an episodic set, the director isn't even necessarily the most important person on the crew. And again, you may get limited opportunities to connect. Okay, well, who are the right people to know and why? We'll get to that in a second, but first, a few common sense statements. Always be a professional when you're on set. This goes for your preparation, your behavior, and your general demeanor as a human being. People want to work with good people over jerks every single time. Learn to discern when is an okay time for chit-chat and engagement and when is a time to knuckle down and focus. From SAG earlier in this guide, you should know how to visualize your success at your job, your acceptance as a colleague and peer, and your growth as an artist and professional. And that's what brings us here. Obviously, it's important to be open to connecting with anyone on a set, both large and small. Relationships are one of the major keys to success in our industry. It's not a secret that people work with each other over and over again. Why? Because over time, trust is built, a rapport is established, and that can strengthen bonds, but it can also have a tangible impact on the bottom line because of cost savings as a result of good communication. The reason that I chose these 4 specific positions on a set are threefold. First, PAs are often the bottom of the food chain. They have long hours and the lowest pay, and they get enough people yelling at them. Not always angrily, but often on a deadline, and time is money. So the more you can be pleasant to PAs, the better you can make their day. Plus, today's PAs are tomorrow's ADs. Speaking of ADs, the first AD is a linchpin on a set. They're traffic cop and air traffic controller and quarterback, all rolled into one. If a set is staying on time and on task, it's due largely to a first AD. And if a set is falling way behind, it's the task of a first AD coordinating with other key positions in departments to get everyone back on schedule. As an actor, you can be part of the solution, be part of the team, and you can help make the first AD job easier. That's not going to be forgotten. First ADs work a lot, and there's a really good chance you'll see them on another set in the future. And there's an even better chance that they'll remember you being an asset to the production or a hindrance. Finally, a DP or director of photography can make you look great in a shot. They can give you better coverage. They can reposition you to get a little bit more camera time and more flattering camera time at that. If a DP sees you ignoring the first 2 points I mentioned already, or otherwise not being professional, goofing off, or not bringing your A game, there's a good chance they won't come over and whisper in your ear on how to get better coverage or how you can look stronger in the frame. And they might not suggest to the first AD, hey, can we do another take? Just so you can look great. Bonus tip, be really nice to the lighting and the sound team too. All right, let's go back to the beginning. There's 2 types of PA that are really, really critical. And the first one is the first one you'll meet, the base camp PA. When you report to work on a production, the first place you go to is base camp. On your first and perhaps only day, you will arrive. Everything will look shiny and new and also foreign. There may be a whole lot of people running around, hustling and bustling, or there might be no one in sight. If you can identify someone from the crew, ask where the base camp PA might be located. Once you've found the base camp PA, introduce yourself and remember their name. Repeat it back to them to make sure that you have it right. This person has a tough job. Someone is barking in their ear. They're responsible for the air traffic control at base camp, and that could mean dozens or hundreds of people. And they're being pulled in a bunch of different directions. And don't forget, as I've mentioned, they're kind of at the bottom of the food chain. The Basecamp PA will take you to your trailer. They'll be your primary contact while you're not on set, and they'll give you updates about the schedule and how it's going. In addition, they might take your breakfast order or guide you to catering. They might have you go to hair and makeup. They'll advise you when to get into wardrobe, and they'll also ask you for your contract to be completed on the first day. Your contract should be in your trailer when you arrive, right? While you're free to not be stuck in your trailer all day long, doom scrolling on Instagram or napping the day away, if you go anywhere and for any prolonged amount of time, it is your job to notify the Basecamp PA. Bathroom, crafty, to set to watch things work if it's close. You have no excuses not to notify them. This is the person with whom you will also sign out at the end of each workday with that Exhibit G. All right, let's move to the second PA. The set or first team PA. When you report to the set on a production, the Basecamp PA will either put you in a van to travel to set, or they'll walk you to set until they hand you off to the set PA. The set PA is called that because they're responsible for you on set. They might also be called a first team PA because they're responsible for first team or the principal actors. Once you've found the set PA, introduce yourself and again, remember their name. Repeat it back to them. That way, you can ensure you get it right. This person has a tough job again. Someone is barking in their ear, and they're responsible for all of the air traffic control going on set. Sounds familiar, right? We've moved from the base camp to the set. It should sound familiar. Be as nice to everyone as possible, of course, but especially the PAs, the Basecamp PA and the first team PA. Their job is really tough. Their hours are long, longer than yours, and their pay isn't great. Plus, today's PAs are often tomorrow's ADs, and they remember people who are not only rude, but also those who are high maintenance or those who can't be found when they're needed. As I said, with regards to the base, you are free to not be tied to the green room or your cast actor chair, but if you go anywhere or if you go anywhere for more than a moment or two, it is your job to notify the set PA, the first team PA. Bathroom, crafty, to set to watch things work near Video Village, you have no excuses not to notify them. Are you seeing a pattern here? Good. Remember, if you're not where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, you probably won't get yelled at or reprimanded, or at least not too harshly, but the PA will. And they'll remember you if you're a repeat offender for something like that. Try and casually observe a PA work if you can. You'll notice that in addition to a walkie-talkie and earpiece where all the PAs are talking to each other, they probably also have a small notebook or they're making notes on their phone. Those notes could be simple, like your breakfast order, or they could be important, like, hey, this actor's always wandering around, never where they're supposed to be, generally rude. You don't want to end up with that reputation. Kill them with kindness. Let's move to the first AD, assistant director. When you report to the set, the actual set, to rehearse or shoot a scene, the first person you'll meet or be introduced to is likely to be the first AD. This person will probably find you, so you don't have to find them amongst all the hubbub that's happening on set, and they'll identify themselves and introduce themselves to you. With all the bells and the whistles and the movement and the noise on a set, it's critical that you create a good first impression with this person. Remember their name. Also remember something tangible about their appearance. Red hair, freckles, and their outfit. Baseball cap, Dodgers, hoodie, Malibu. Over the course of a shooting day, it might get warmer and or colder, so outfits change, but someone's physical appearance generally remains the same. But because there's so many people, by combining some physical appearance and some wardrobe category, that's going to help you remember the first AD amongst the sea of people in the event that you have a question or if you need them for something. You can always ask a PA for help too, and they can get you to the first AD. The bigger a set or the higher the budget, the more important the first AD becomes. They're like a quarterback on set. They're managing all the different players. They're making sure that they're in place, and they know the play that's about to be run. They have the director and other people barking in their ear, barking out orders, direction, notes, changes. And as mentioned, you might not actually get to meet the director or the showrunner, and if you do, you may not have a lot of access to them. For TV especially, the director might be dealing with the executive producers, the showrunner, the network. And for a big budget film, they may be considering the larger scene elements or working with the A-listers. And as such, the first AD is your first and most important source of contact. Now, between shots, if the director or the showrunner or the decision makers have creative or technical notes, usually they'll relay them to the first AD, who in turn will relay them to the cast, which means you. Because of that, try and get a feel for the first AD. Are they stressed and just passing on feedback? Are they personable and engaging? Are they open to you asking questions or getting clarification? Every set is different. Note, you are a puzzle piece that helps to complete the puzzle. You are no more or no less important than others, as everyone has value. But based on the size and the scope of your character, you may want to be discerning and choosy when feeling the need to ask questions. If you're playing barista number 4 and you have 2 lines, you don't need a lot of time with the director asking about backstory or motivation or obstacles. If you do something wrong, you'll probably hear about it. If they want something done another way, they'll let you know. A compliment when bringing to life smaller co-star type characters, especially those occupational roles, is that you get no feedback whatsoever. It's not about you. It's about the story. Remember that. The last person that we want to talk about today is the DP, or Director of Photography. This person is tasked with setting up shots and running the camera department. This person works very closely with the director or the showrunner and the first AD. They help establish everything that is going to appear on screen in the shot. When you first get on set, listen to the conversations taking place in the camera department. Who is the person who is moving back and forth and chatting with the decision makers in the first AD? Listen for a name. Sometimes they'll introduce themselves to you, but not always, so picking up clues, either on context or names that you hear, can really help you. During the course of a shoot day, you can pick up a lot of information. What's the DP style? How much freedom and creativity do they have with shots? What kind of relationship do they have with the decision makers? Are they allowed to have input as well? After you've been on set for a little while, you may get a chance to converse between setups or while the crew is doing little adjustments to the set or the wardrobe on another actor. And it's a great opportunity to connect with the DP. Don't ask needless questions, but if it's relevant, perhaps you could ask, hey, what is the edge of the frame right here on my shot? So you know how to shift weight or not necessarily shift weight. Ask or listen for the length of the lens so you can then ask, hey, how tight are we right now? So you can adjust your performance accordingly. If you feel even more comfortable, you can ask the DP specifically if they need anything in particular from you. Yeah, you can ask the DP that instead of a director, because the DP is the one who sees exactly what is happening in the shot and what the shot is doing. Over time, a well-established rapport with a DP can help an actor get additional coverage during shots. It can build trust on the part of a DP that you can take direction, that you can make adjustments, and you can help them get the best shot possible, which then helps to ensure an efficient and smooth set. A note on this: be smart about all these choices. With the exception of the 2 PA connections, don't brazenly engage, converse, and question the first AD and the DP. The time may not be right. The production may be way behind that day. The mood might be somber or tense or difficult because something may not be going exactly to plan. Learn how to read the room. Now, this is easier to achieve the more days you spend on a particular production, but even when shooting just one day, even when you have minimal lines, it is possible to create relationships and opportunities while learning more about your craft and improving your skill set. I hope everything that you've learned in this course has given you light bulb moments and inspiration and excitement to get on set again. Like I said, it's probably the favorite course that I've ever created in my time. And I'm excited to go to set with you in the future. And I hope that you will feel more calm and more confident, knowing that you are a professional and a peer, and that you belong on these sets. I would love to hear from you about your next set experience after taking this class. What you've learned, what you applied from this course, and how it helped. And just in general, how gosh darn exciting it can be to be on a set. So let me know. shoot me a note. Thanks, and I will see you on set.
Step into this mini meditation to help prepare you for your audition. Let's start with a deep inhale, breathing all the way in, feeling your face, feeling your body, shaking out your hands a little bit, noticing this vessel that you carry. Let's start with another inhale this time as you breathe all the way in. Lift your shoulders up, and as you exhale out, release your shoulders, begin to close your eyes. Feel that energy move through your body, move into the ground, into the earth. Feel your heartbeat. This is the essence of you. This is what you're bringing into the experience right now. And so in this moment, begin to notice the power that lies within you. You have prepared well. You have taken the time and energy to do what's needed, to show up to this magical moment in time that has the potential to take you where you want to go. Envision the character that you're portraying 3 feet in front of you. Notice what they're wearing. Notice what their personality is like. And then begin to notice your body. And in this second, have the character walk towards you, merge with who you are as a person, and take a deep breath of integration, breathing in. Fully exhaling, dropping your shoulders a little bit further, and giving permission for you to embody the energy of this character. Let your light shine through. And as you embody this character, send love and light and exciting energy into the minds and hearts of people who will see this audition. Again, you are uniquely you. There will be no one else that can perform this role in the way that you can. Release any self-doubt out your fingertips, washing it away, letting the earth transmute it into positive energy and possibility. Spend about 10 seconds releasing this energy out your feet into the earth and out your fingertips into the space around you. Removing the self-doubt. And begin to sense your solar plexus come alive, the place where your identity lies. Turning the dial up on that, feeling strong and connected to the space that you're stepping into. Remember that you are fully capable. You are enough, and what you have is magic. So let's take one more deep, integrating inhale, all the way from the feet to the top part of the skull, breathing all the way in. And release the breath, exhale. You have fully merged now with the character. You are ready. Have a beautiful time. Something important for every actor is cultivating a mindset that nurtures confidence and security in your craft. And in this mini lesson, I'll share some powerful affirmations that you can use to reinforce this mindset every day, no matter if you're preparing for an audition or getting ready to be on set. The importance of mental preparation is needed, both on and off set. And as actors, you're not just memorizing lines, you're embodying entire lives, entire characters. And that's a big responsibility. It requires more than just talent. It demands mental resilience. So to step into your roles with confidence, it's really important to develop a supportive mental framework that fuels your performance and also shields you from any doubt or insecurity that you have. So think about this. every single role is a new adventure or a new set of challenges and experiences. And by embodying a mindset of flexibility and openness, you can really spearhead each role with fresh energy and the willingness to explore. This mindset helps foster excitement for what you can bring to the role and what the role can bring to you. So here are 5 affirmations that you can incorporate into your daily routine. And the phrases, these affirmations, they build your confidence. They secure that mental foundation. So number 1, I have everything that I need for every role that I take on. This affirmation helps you recognize and trust your training, your development, your instincts. The second is, my presence is powerful and impactful on and off the stage. And this reminds you of the strength and influence of your craft. The third is that every challenge is a gateway to new growth. This keeps you aligned with the idea that every obstacle is actually an opportunity to let the light shine in, to grow. And whether you get the audition or not, you literally expand, you elevate from every experience. The fourth is, I trust the process and detach from the outcome. And this helps you focus on the work itself, not just the auditions or the callbacks. The last one is, my spirit and creativity are a gift that I openly share with the world. Feel that in your heart, because it reinforces the value of all your artistic contributions. And to wrap up, integrating these affirmations into your daily routine will really help strengthen your mindset and enhance your performances. Before every rehearsal, every audition, take a moment to repeat these affirmations. Let them sink in with your energy body, with your heart, and feel their power. Because the most important part of your performance isn't the script. It's not in memorizing the lines. It's in the heart and the mind that you bring to it. So nurture your mindset. Believe in the affirmations. And watch how they transform not just your performances, but your entire approach to acting. My name's Michelle Schlafman. I'm a holistic psychotherapist. Thanks for listening.